Hello everyone, this is the Underdog, aka the German Viking, and I'm going to be responding to Slate blaming Gamergate for mass shootings. I don't care if it really gets monetized, because I don't really get monetized from YouTube, and if it gets recommended, I want to talk about this because I want to call out the bullshit. Yeah, you heard me swear, because this really infuriates me. I've been lately been trying to be less with the swearing, because people have pointed it out to me that it's probably better for me not to be so aggressive in my videos, but this is one of those that or topics that really irritate me. So let's read the headline. Republicans are missing the real connection between video games and mass shootings. It's Gamergate. Of course it is. Republicans have found a culprit to blame for this weekend's dual mass shootings, and it's not guns or white nationalism, it's video games. The trend started with Fox News host John Scott, who speculated on Saturday that the shooter might be a young man who grew up playing video games. Yeah, because let's also blame air. Let's blame milk. Let's blame cabbage. Video games is the biggest entertainment industry in the world at the moment. So most people, at least in the West, who can afford this, are going to play video games. But there has been no study that is credible that has confirmed or even said that games make you more aggressive and make you do things in real life. I think the only study that indicated this, that you might be frustrated by games but then calm down afterwards, like if you can't beat a boss. That seems so perfectly legitimate. This thinking has since been picked up by others, including House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, yeah, screw that guy, who suggested video games dehumanize individuals, and Texas Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, who speculated that for the shooter, the murders were a video game. To him, he has no sense of humanity, no sense of life. He wanted to be a super soldier for his Call of Duty game. Yeah, you have to be mentally ill or delusional or not be able to see what is reality and what is a game for you to actually do this. That is not the game's fault. The calls from Republicans for parents to stop letting their kids play games or to use gaming behavior to identify potential shooters ahead of time seem desperate in their attempt to make the conversation about anything other than the availability of guns or the rise of violent white supremacy. Oh my god. Oh my god. I literally was called a Nazi today because I pointed something out on Twitter being and you can't just walk around and point at everyone who disagree with you as a white supremacist. It's so stupid. The climate, you're not doing anyone any favors by doing this. You're just calling everyone a white supremacist, and it loses the meaning. Anyways, but although these Republicans probably don't know it, there is a clear and obvious connection between. Okay, there is a clear and obvious citation needed. Connection between video games, white nationalist terrorism, and the image board where the El Paso shooter posted his manifesto. Okay, a citation needed. Give me the citation. That connection is Gamergate. Okay, a hashtag that's dead. Okay, let's dive into the mindset and the proof these people are claiming that Gamergate does this. The campaign of misogynistic harassment by aggrieved gamers that began in 2014 and which moved to 8chan from 4chan when the latter refused to allow Gamergate to use that board for coordinated harassment campaigns and doxing. As far as I know, there isn't much posting going on 8chan about Gamergate. And the narrative that was a misogynistic harassment campaign is totally false. Wham debunked this. Brad Glasgow debunked this. Oh my god. These people just want... there are no citations in this paragraph whatsoever. It's just a claim, and I'm gonna infer Hitchens' razor when they make up this bullshit. 8chan existed briefly before Gamergate, but its popularity as a place where manifestos are shared and racist violence is openly advocated can be traced back to the migration of Gamergaters and to the specific need on the part of Gamergaters for a forum so absolute in its dedication to free speech that it would allow even harassment campaigns and doxing against individual. Okay, citation needed. There is no hyperlink in this harassment campaigns and doxing. Nothing. Specifically individual women in gaming. Oh my god. Like Zoe Quinn and Anita Sarkeesian. They have not proved it once. They went to the UN because they got memed on and criticized on Twitter. You cannot be serious, Slate. It was no longer enough to say terrible things on 4chan. You know, when you censor free speech on 4chan, it got hit. And there was a reason why 4chan got hit with popularity, because it censored topics of discussion for no reason other than to virtue signal. 8chan's Gamergaters needed to be able to plan and carry out terrible actions. Again, citation needed. Their flight created a core community around 8chan that had violence as its raison d'etre. Okay, sorry, I'm really bad at French. First of all, I was part of Gamergate. I don't visit 8chan. I was there once when I was promoting a stream. That was it. And it wasn't even me that posted the topic there. That was Zan, who has purged himself from the internet. And I think I did 1 or 2 posts, and that was it. I haven't been there for like 4 years. So the claim that Gamergaters are on 8chan is, first of all, bullcrap. There might be some. I'm not gonna say that there aren't any, but the Gamergate topic and hashtag is pretty much dead. And Kotaku in Action is a much bigger hub, even though I hate it. Kotaku in Action 2 is a much better place to post. Why wouldn't you post about that? Because you don't care about facts. Although some researchers have claimed to find a link between video games, some researchers have claimed video games and aggression, meta-analysis suggests that this connection is weak or non-existent. Well, at least you can tell the truth. Well, so you lie mostly in this article, but you can actually tell the truth when you have something to point at and a link. Wow, imagine this. That makes sense because the community of people who play video games is both vast and diverse. While the people who commit mass shootings are both few in number and overwhelmingly male, well, shouldn't we investigate why the reason they are male? Is it because most of the mass shooters don't have any fathers? Men are getting vilified and have no hope in life and feel this is the only way to have a way out or whatever. I don't know the mentality of these people, the psychology, but maybe you should investigate why this is. Nearly as many women report that they play video games as men. Yeah, but are phone games really playing video games as a hobby and not just as procrastination and getting the time to go on. It's a valid criticism. I mean, and there are no significant racial differences in who plays and who doesn't. Yeah, so who cares? The picture does change somewhat when you ask whether someone self-identifies as a gamer. Self-identified gamers are predominantly male, but even then, non-white people identify as gamers more often than whites do. So what? Really, who cares? Who cares about the race? Jesus, why do you care about race so much? Whereas among mass shooters, non-whites are not so overrepresented. That's a lie. And are obviously quite underrepresented among white nationalists. Well, you called Andy No a white nationalist, so STFU. Because gaming is so vast, it's clear that the specific grievances of Gamergate that women should not be allowed to criticize games from a feminist... Oh my god. That women should... That's not even the argument. Oh my god. That's not even the argument that I or many other have made. Be accurate and have good argumentation. If you're gonna have a feminist perspective, then at least have credible citations and arguments. That women should not be allowed to criticize games from feminist perspective, and that industry attempts to increase diversity are ruining games for real gamers. Okay, let's investigate this sentence right here. And that an industry attempts to increase diversity. Yeah, they are ruining games because it was an outrage for EA and Respawn to have a white male. It's an outrage to have a white male. Yeah, Overwatch, I think, had a white male character, and there was outrage about that. If that doesn't matter so much, why are you so angry when there's a white male in a game? That is peculiar, isn't it? So when it's the other way around, it's suddenly problematic, as you would put it. And when it comes to that, we claim that women shouldn't criticize games. That's absolute horseshit. You can examine games however much you want, but be prepared to be criticized. Be prepared when you open this up to a public forum to get criticism. That's it. I get lots of criticism on my videos. I try to take the good ones to heart and improve myself as not just as a human being, as a speaker, as a critical thinker, but to have the gall to claim that that I, for example, claim that women shouldn't have or shouldn't be allowed to criticize game from feminist perspective is just frankly retarded. Had to do with the entitlement of an angry subculture of men within gaming. Yeah, of course. This sounds like very sexist claim, Evan Urquhart. Not the content of the games themselves. That's bullcrap as well. The subculture of gamergaters. Again, citation needed. Who there again in this? You had citation of the last one, when you had citation for connection that are weak or non-existence for researchers claiming things. But when you again talk about Gamergate, you have no citation whatsoever. Who erroneously believe themselves to be the only... What? This is a really bad straw man. Who erroneously believe themselves to be the only true gamers in the world of phonies. What? Who is making... What kind of people are you talking about? Who are you talking about? Jesus. Is what made the culture of HN what it is. It was violent then. So you're gonna use strawman fallacy You're not gonna use citations. You're gonna use a collectivist fallacy. Just because someone posted something on a board, everyone is guilty. Guilt by association. My God. It was violent then, and it's more violent now. Citation needed. It was misogynist and racist then. Citation needed. And all the more so now. Again, citation. You can make all these claims as much as you want, but if you can't prove them, or at least show something, you're full of crap. Gamergate is one the safe space from which to attack the women they thought were ruining video games, and by that metric, their creation has succeeded beyond their wildest imaginings. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is rich coming from these people. Wanted a safe space? No, we just wanted a space to talk. And first it got banned by 4chan. It's been banned. I got banned from GameSpot for talking about this, for wanting ethics in games journalism. But that's too much of a requirement these days of journalists. Are you serious? Are you serious? It's not difficult to imagine that it could have been a different cultural moment that made 8chan what it is today, that the aggrieved faction could have formed in another subculture, or fantasy nerds, say, or sports fans. This is just hyperbolic claims that you can't... Wow. Can you not make anything political? See... All I want for my video games is not for them to be political. There can be politics in them, but don't make them political. Don't insert identity politics. Yet that is too much of ask of developers and journalists these days. The result could have been much the same, down to the obsession with high scores that links to the El Paso shooter with the Christchurch shooter, who posted his white nationalist manifesto to 8chan in March before killing 51 people at 2 mosques. Yeah, and he posted everything that could have gotten him talked about. So, oh my God. You don't even know what he stands for, because all you heard was PewDiePie and gaming and and Minecraft and whatever. Or the Poway, Californian shooting suspect who allegedly posted a hateful white supremacist manifesto to 8chan. Do you know why they write this filth? I don't even know if they are white supremacists or not. Because every time there is such a manifesto and such a shooter, they get attention by you. It's a vicious circle where these men are getting lots of publicity after doing such a thing, and propelled into the spotlight in media, and others might see the same, and you might be actually encouraging this behavior without even having the self-awareness you might be doing this. But you want to point the finger at Gamergate and everyone else, instead of taking some ethical responsibility of what you post on your goddamn site. Before opening on a California synagogue. In other words, Republicans are right that there's a strong connection between video games and the toxic environments that are radicalizing the young men who commit mass shootings, but the link isn't games themselves, it's Gamergate. This is what we have come to. The authoritarian right have now found an ally in the authoritarian left, in the SJWs. And they are actually agreeing that it's gamers. A little bit semantic. The left is calling it Gamergate. The right is just calling it gamers. the sheer insanity. We live in such a clown world where you have a media actually pointing to gamers now on both sides of the aisle and say it's gamers' fault. Gamergate is just it's just a hashtag. Oh my god. I don't even know what to say about this anymore. Thank you guys for watching and see you guys next time. Bye.